Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. In this episode we're going to make a gorgeous get well card using lots of our Anna Griffin supplies. We're going to build up a floral bouquet of gorgeousness because you know what it's like if somebody's in hospital. I don't know about your country, but our country you can't take flowers to hospital anymore. So wouldn't it be great if you could give them a bouquet of flowers on a card? And I think this one's going to work really well. Now we're going to use a mixture of items. Everything I do use I shall put on my blog in a detailed list. If I can include links I will do. If I miss anything out as I'm talking about it, then it will be on the blog, because I do have a detailed list and I try and add as much as I can. So please be sure to check my blog out. If you've got anything to say, please feel free, because I do love hearing from you. I love reading your messages. I love hearing whether you've made it, whether you like it, whether you don't like it. If you want to ask me a question, ask it anywhere but not YouTube, because I can't reply to you on YouTube. Even if you want to contact me directly through the blog, that's fine. I'll get back to you. It might take me a couple of days, and I do read everything. I really do. So thank you for your messages. I love them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make this gorgeous get well card. The first thing we need is our base card, and this is from Anna Griffin's Birthday Perfect Patterns Cards and Envelopes set. And in the set you get these gorgeous cards with envelopes as your base cards to be able to use with many of your different embellishments. Now, even though this has been made by Anna, I'm still going to use my bone folder to make sure we've got that nice, sharp, perfect score, because that's kind of like my thing. I like to make sure I've got a nice, neat edge along the side. So we're going to do the inside first, and I just want to point out, actually, on the back of Anna's cards, when they come in a set or in a kit, you always get the handmade by on the back. And then you can add your name to it, so that when you give the card, the person you're giving it to knows, you know, who's made it. Now, obviously, I've got today's date on there, so because that's my new thing for me this year. I'm going to try and add the dates on the back of the cards so I know when I've made them. So that's just for me, that little bit. So we're going to do the inside first, and this is going to be a gorgeous inside that's going to match perfectly to our outside. So the first thing I've done, nice and simple, I've used a piece of ivory cardstock and I've stamped on it, and I've used Anna's sentiment stamp and die set just to say get well soon. I've inked the edges with a luminous gold ink from Anna, and I've just tapped it around the edge, and that's it. I've got flat tape on the back, and when I say flat tape, that's adhesive double-sided tape from my friends across the pond. And we're just going to pop the centre in the card like that, and you're thinking, oh well, that looks great, Anne-Marie, it's a little bit different, but it's kind of plain. Well, it is. So now what we're going to do is, from the Laurel die set, we're going to add one of the smaller laurel wreaths, and we're going to add that just to give it a little bit of a zing. Now, I'm going to have to chastise myself here because I've added red tape and I've left the back of it on. When using red tape, I normally take that off because it's kind of fiddly and it's not the best thing to show because it sticks to you. It's great tape, but it's not the best for peeling the back off when you're on camera. There we go. So that's done. It's all stuck to me there. Okay. So this is from Anna's Laurel wreath die set. So I'm just going to stick that underneath the get well soon, because you'll see that I've positioned that stamping towards the bottom half of the page. So we'll press that down. Now the laurel wreath set hasn't been in the UK yet. I picked it up at Create. I know I'm really naughty using something that we've not had in the UK, but it was just such a beautiful set that I had to have it while I was there. However, the leaves that we're going to use on the front from the laurel wreath, you could use, there's lots of things that Anna's had in the die cut packs. There's some gorgeous gold ones that would work just as well. And there's also some in the vellum selection. I'm sure it was the vellum. No, it wasn't the vellum. I will check that out and put it on the blog, definitely. Because if you've had, there's some die cuts that has the leaf configuration in, like a spray. That would work really well. Okay, so I'm using the beautiful Bouquet die cuts. Actually, there might be something in there that would work quite well with this card instead of the laurel dies. So I've taken one of the die cuts and I've simply added 3D flat tape on the back. Now they're all numbered. Don't worry about using them flat or on their own or with something else, because once you've bought them, they're yours. You can use them how you want. So that's the inside of my card. And how simple was that? Adding a sentiment, the laurel and a flower over the top. And that has enough space for you to write a lovely message saying get well soon, hope you're feeling better, etc, etc. Now we can do the front of the card. So I'm going to use my bone folder again to make sure my crease is still nice and sharp after working on the insert. So this was from the Perfect Patterns birthday set. So even though it's a get well card, it doesn't matter, you can use the birthday palette, because, you know, nobody will ever know that it was from a set called Birthdays. So the first thing we're going to use is one of the fancy French frame dies. Again, I'm really naughty because this was from Create. So I'm going to try not to use so much of my things from Create, because I know some people get a little bit, shall we say, peed off really, that I'm kind of like using things that they can't get hold of. Well, I'm sorry, it's just, you would be able to use any of the frame dies that we've already had. But I just thought this was really pretty and it worked a treat with this. Okay, so I added flat tape on the back of it, and I've used Anna's metallic pink cardstock. I've cut and embossed that so it picks up the design from it. Next, what I've done is, this is where the laurel wreaths come in. Now, I've cut one of the larger laurels from the die set and I've embossed it using Anna's green card. I've got flat tape on the back of it. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to position these. Actually, I've missed a bit. Where I cut the laurel wreath out, I've actually cut it in half. So I've just taken half of the laurel because I wanted the actual spray of the leaf. That's why I say there's so many of the die cuts that's got the leaves in that you would be able to use the spray with. So what I'm doing is, I'm taking the back of the tape away, but I'm just positioning the actual leaves, because I don't want to press it down yet, because I want to get them in the right position before I stick them down. And so I'm just laying them on the top like that, so that we can see where they are and to make sure they're not over the edge of the card or too close together or too far apart. Because at the end of the day, this is your card, so you can do with it what you want, you can add what you want, you can use the materials you want. I'm just giving you ideas of how to use the different things that are available. And it just so happens that I love Anna's products, and that's why I do the videos. So, next we can take our beautiful bouquet. Now I've got 2 of these, and I've used 2 of the sheets to build up the decoupage. They all have instructions on the back of them, and it says this is the base die cut. Use foam adhesive to layer the pieces on top in numerical order. And they're all numbered, and you build it up like that very easily. So you've got 3 layers of decoupage there. So I'm going to add this, I think, over one side and one corner. Now you can see how the flowers flow. It's easy for me to say. They flow either upwards or downwards. They're kind of, I don't want to use the word generic because I think there's a word for it. Now at the other side, corner, we're going to go with a rose to the top of the card. Like so. And press it down. So you see how we laid the laurel wreath, the laurel leaves from the wreaths just on the card, and now we've placed our florals on top. Because I feel that they're in the right place, we can press it down. Now if I didn't, I could wiggle it a little bit to make sure I got it in the right place until I was happy. Look how beautiful those flowers look already. Just an abundance of them. And I've only used 2 of the decoupage sheets. And you get so many in those packs. Next, I've taken a sentiment. Now, this is from my favourite sentiment stickers. And instead of using it as a sticker, I've got 3D foam on the back of it. And I'm going to try and slide it between the flowers. Just at either side, like that. I just want a tip of it under one of the flowers, like, there we go. And I can press it down because I've got the 3D foam on it. And I'm going to finish it off with a little bow. Let's try and get my sticker straight as well. There we go, that's a bit better. And a little bow just at the bottom there. Oh, look how perfect that is. Now, if you received that in hospital, that would bring a smile to your face. It's just so pretty. The inside matches to the outside with the laurel wreaths and the flowers. Lots of room, as I mentioned, for your message. It's just so beautiful. Stands up nicely. Now there is lots of layers on here. However, what you could do, you could save yourself a couple. But I think if you're handing that to a person in hospital, you're not really going to worry about the postage, are you? And it's just so pretty. Really is. It's a nice one, is that, for anybody who's feeling under the weather. You could always change the sentiment. You know, if you wanted to make it into a different occasion. So, yes, I like that. I like the flowers. And I think they're really pretty and they work really well, especially with that frame die. And as I say, you could change that. If you don't have that die, you could tweak it and use something else. I do hope you enjoy watching. Please feel free to share. I love hearing from you. I know we've done all the housekeeping bit. So, but I do love hearing from you. I think it's great that you enjoy watching. Because I never know who's going to watch. Maybe nobody will watch, maybe only one person. So I always film it as if I'm only filming it for a friend to watch and do it that way. And I think that's why it comes across quite personal. And I like that. So I hope you do too. So I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.